Welcome to One More in the Barrel, a local conversation table hosted by Mike and Ian, two veterans and Oklahoma business owners built on stories, service, and community. The coffee's hot, the stories are real, so pull up a chair. Today we're posted up at Oklahoma Smoke Barbecue in Old Town Moore, right off Main Street and I-35. I'm Mike, this is my co-host Ian, and joining us at the table is Carrie Moore, post commander of the American Legion right here in Oklahoma. Good morning, guys. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
It's early.
It is kind of early still. Yeah.
New year, new week.
Something like that.
Carrie, tell us about yourself.
Myself. I grew up in Eufaula, which is about 2 hours east of where we're currently at. Small town, 2 stoplights, big lake. The city is mostly known for. We have a lot of tourists that come through, but I grew up there, grew up rodeoing, barrel racing, riding horses, that sort of thing. High school came, if you're not an athlete, you play in the band in this small town, and I just really didn't have any goals set for myself when I got out of high school. I knew my parents couldn't afford college. I kind of felt like I was at a dead end, so I joined the military. Woo. I mean, what else do you do? My dad's a Vietnam vet, so the idea of being military wasn't actually that far-fetched for me, but I grew up hearing very little from him, being his daughter. He didn't want to share his stories of Vietnam with me, but I knew a lot about the military itself, so basically it was between the Navy and the Air Force, and the Navy just got to me first. So I was offered 2 different jobs to go into the service, diesel mechanics or Intel. And I still have yet to know how that happened.
Those are 2 very different.
And the only thing I knew about mechanics at the time was to avoid my dad when he worked on vehicles, because he threw tools at me, not at me. But they always landed near me. But
me too. I was the flashlight holder.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And then get yelled at because you're dozing off or not.
Your arm's
right.
dead.
Yeah. So
point it right here.
Where's here?
So obviously I joined Intel, and after 2 years of schooling, I ended up at Fort Meade and the basement of the National Security Agency. So I served 5 years in the Navy, did not deploy, did not leave the States, got out a little bit before 9/11 happened, and we were still in Maryland when that all went down. So that definitely was interesting. My husband went back. My husband was in the Marine Corps. We met in Maryland, but he's from here and more. So that's how we ended up back here. His family all lives here. So 9/11 happened. He went to Iraq, was there just a short time, but he was one of the first ones that was deployed over there. So when he got back, shortly after, we had our second child, and then ended up relocating back here. We wanted to be closer to family. So in a roundabout way, via Texas kind of thing, we ended up back here and more. So I became a stay-at-home mom at that point, kind of somewhat lost myself, as most people do when they become stay-at-home mom. They're your child's parent, you're your husband's spouse, you're all these things, but you have nothing that's actually for you, which I did ride the horses and stuff still, so I did have that part of my identity. But May 13th tornado took care of that identity.
Wow.
When it wiped out my horses and everything relating to it. So after that, I kind of tried to find a way to reinvent myself, and I ran for Miss Veteran America in 2022, I think it was 2023, and
this will be the part of the show where we throw up some pictures.
Yeah,
help tell the story.
Yes.
So I ran for Miss Veteran America because I felt like I was missing something, and I didn't know what it was. And so that gave me an opportunity to start advocating for female veterans, because I knew I wasn't alone in feeling like I was lost and looking for something. So the running for Miss Veteran America really opened my eyes to the needs of female veterans nationwide, and that I was not alone in the struggles that I saw while I was in or afterwards. So and it's just been a freaking landslide since then. It's been so much fun, and I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be. God put me here, and it's just, the world's just mine.
Yeah.
I'm having so much fun with it.
That's good.
I love every day. Every day I get up and look around, and I'm like, what do I get to do today? And today we're here, and then, you know, afterwards we're going to another place to where I get to share what I'm up to, and, you know, that way those people know about these nonprofits that we're part of, because if we don't tell what we're doing, then people don't know about it.
Exactly.
And then, you know,
That was one of the reasons why I wanted to have her on.
Yeah.
You know, so thank you for coming, for one. Yeah, with I'm trying to fill up Carrie's day today. I don't know if I told you that.
No. You were busy all day.
Her next is also with me, so we're
yeah.
going to go to the Kiwanis Club. But yeah, you know, there's like from the time I met you, heard of you, it's like I see you everywhere doing all sorts of things, and yeah, like, you know, if there's one thing I think that we want to try to accomplish with this is connecting some dots, and
Yes.
you know, giving a platform for
Yeah,
you know,
making sure
good
people
stuff.
know that there's resources out there, because there's a lot of people that don't know.
Yeah.
and it's kind of funny because I did have to start dialing back some of the things that I was involved in, because I realized that it didn't fit in the circle of things that I was trying to do. For instance, flagpoles honoring our veterans. Me and my husband ride motorcycles, so it was a great outlet for us. However, it doesn't fit with what I'm like trying to do specifically.
Yeah.
So I had to take a step back from it. I still promote it. I still go
Mhm,
to
me
any
too.
other
Me too.
meetings that I
You have a sticker on our
can
wall
with
if
them, but I just can't participate as much as I'd
Yeah.
like to.
Yeah.
So you know, you just have to pick and choose, because there are so many
Yeah.
that are out there.
One of my favorite quotes right now, I just reread one of my favorite books, and he's got a line in there of, to mature is to become basic. And sometimes that means saying no more than you say yes.
Yeah, I'm not good
Diary
at
of a
that.
Wimpy Kid.
Likewise.
Not good at that at all. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, likewise.
So, how'd you get involved with the American Legion?
Oh, so again, back to the Miss Veteran America thing. When I competed at the semifinals, every female that was there competing was sponsored by the American Legion, but
Okay.
me. And so when I got back from the semifinals, I started looking into it, because I didn't know what it did. I didn't know anything about it. The extent of my knowledge about it is going back to my dad. I remember my dad always getting weird around Memorial Day and Veterans Day, because there was it was either the American Legion or the VFW that would always have a table outside of like a Sam's Club, Walmart type thing, handing out those poppies.
Yeah.
And so my dad would always empty his wallet into the donation jar and walk away with one of those paper poppies with a smile on his face, typically a tear in his eye that he wouldn't,
Yeah.
you know, show. But then those poppies would go on our visor in whatever vehicle we were driving.
Yeah.
That was the extent of what I knew, like, about the Legion. And so when I got back from the semifinals, I decided I was going to start looking into it, which, being a female veteran, turned to be a little bit more complicated than what I expected it to be. So VFW and American Legion tend to be a little bit more of the good old boys club.
Yeah.
And if you're not I said this earlier, it's just a thing. If you're not a crusty old white dude, you don't really feel like you fit in. And most of the time you have to smoke or drink to be able to bring anything to the table. And I am not any of those.
Yeah.
So the first Legion that I tried to join is actually the Legion I'm at now. And I was told, basically, these are my words, not his, but I was told to basically sit down and shut up. They wanted my membership, but they didn't want me to say or try to do anything. But that is not who I am. So shortly thereafter, I left and I went to another post and tried again. And I was told I belonged in the kitchen or cleaning the bathrooms there. I was allowed to raise money, but I had to start at the bottom and earn my place there. So the third time I transferred, I decided I wasn't going to try to belong to the actual Legion itself. I was just going to be there as a veteran service officer, which is writing claims for veterans to be
That's where I met you.
an immediate person between the veteran and the VA system. So I decided I was just going to do that. So I stayed there for a little bit, and then the post here and more had something happen. I wasn't there, don't know. to where most of their leadership left and didn't leave anybody in charge or anything. And so they asked me to come back to lead it. And so here we are.
Boom, changing of the guard.
It's been interesting. There's a lot that has to be updated and changed and integrated, but I'm trying to make sure that the post is what I needed it to be a couple years ago. And so I'm inviting everybody to come. I want them to know that they're welcome. No matter if you're white, crusty, or a female, I want everybody to know that they're welcome there, and we need to know what you need it to be. We don't drink, we don't smoke in the Legion.
We do play cards, and I will kick your butt. If you
I
come
haven't
out.
seen
He
you in
cheats.
With the friendliest,
I haven't seen
I haven't
you
been in a
as
while.
a winner.
I haven't
I
been-
haven't seen you as a winner though.
I
Did you win?
I don't know if there's any proof either way of that.
He
so
dreamed about it last night.
whatever. Whatever.
I haven't been to play cards yet.
And that's a
I've
wrap,
been to
folks.
one
Thanks,
meeting.
Carrie, for coming out.
I've been to one meeting, and Joe got me to sign up. So
I mean, the membership. A lot of people think that that's all that we're worried about, because the Legion does focus a lot on
well, it's
members.
important. You need that.
But the money that comes in is what we use to help veterans.
Yeah.
We had a family reach out, which it takes a lot for a veteran to reach out, because they try really hard to take care of their own needs themselves. But once they reach out, you got to be able to act on it
Rapid
immediately.
response.
And this person, they needed some baby items and stuff, and your membership fees is what allows us to accommodate that person and be able to get that person what they need.
Exactly.
So
I've been pretty reserved for a few years of getting involved with anything, just from the standpoint of, well, what do you do? I want to see you doing something out in the community. And historically, to me, my exposure to groups like the Legion, Shriners, I'm at a loss for
VFW,
Masons, all that kind of stuff. You see them at a parade, and that was my exposure to it. I'm like, it doesn't really seem like that's accomplishing much. So why should I join? And one thing that I think I get a unique glimpse into with the stage is getting to see some of these organizations, especially in more, organizations in more do stuff pretty effectively. Most of the events and causes that do something here or start here are pretty well attended, well responded to, known about.
it's because we help each other.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it is a you mentioned the tornado. It's this is this that
I
gets
was there for that.
it takes a village.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
It really does. And that's one of the things that we've even sent out surveys and stuff trying to figure out why people don't join. And the bar scene is one of the main things that we got pushback on. They're like, we don't want to come to the Legion because we don't want to be around a bunch of drunken sailors, the stereotype. But when we inform them that we're not a bar, some of the Legions do have a bar. Well, that might be the Legion you need to join if that's what you're looking for. But ours is not that.
Yeah.
So you run into a lot of veterans that have addiction issues, and if they're going to be around that bar scene, that's going to lead to a whole different group of issues for them, to where if they're in a situation to where we're doing family events, we're doing poker nights without the drinking and all that sort of thing, that might be more of what they're looking for. We're looking for the younger generation that has the kids. We've got a kids table in there that's got crayons and coloring books and that sort of thing. We invite them to come to the meeting. If they distract us and stuff, we look for the parent to address the situation, but we want that younger generation there. If we don't have them there, we're going to die out.
The old crusty crowd again.
And that we want the older generation there. We want them to help us parent. We want them to be there to guide the kids and to show them what the older generation has done. We want the stories and stuff. We need all of them. Yeah. And so we're trying to be that.
Yeah. And I think it's the mission, whether it's the Legion or the VFW or whatever kind of nonprofit organization for vets, it's the stuff that the veteran deals with, and even active duty guys, goes beyond that one individual, especially once they get issued a family. It's man, there's more than one person here that needs to be helped, reached.
Oh yeah, and especially when
supported.
someone actually finally, like you said, someone reaches out. It takes a lot for a veteran person to actually reach out to something, and when they do, like you said, you got to act on it because I know guys, even though in active duty at the time, when they would finally reach out, if they were turned away, it was not good results after that. It was some of them committed suicide, some of them went down a really deep hole where it was a lot of work to get them out of it,
Absolutely.
and just people knowing to have resources available to be able to help people is huge.
So back on the Legion side of stuff, we provide scholarships that a lot of people don't know about. We have oratorical.
I didn't know about that one. Yeah.
Yeah, we just completed that to where the kids get to come and they give a speech. It's a set amount of time, and they give a speech, and we award those. We had a couple students from Moore, and they're about to go at the end of the month. They're going to go to districts.
Nice.
So then they get to compete at districts, and then the state level, and then even nationals, to where they can receive a full scholarship. It's not labeled like a full scholarship. They get a set amount of money, but it could pay for a lot of college. So we have that, and then we also have Boys and Girls State that happens on the summer of their junior year. They get sent to a week-long event to where they stay there and they just learn
At
life.
Eastern University.
It depends on if it's boys state or girls state, because we do have both. We've been a boys club for a long time, and now they realize that we need to take care of both.
Yes.
So we do have a boys and a girls state. They're both located at colleges that are somewhat central to the Oklahoma City area, and they provide the leadership skills that those kids need. Most of those have come out. If you talk to anybody that's in legislation, the kids that help the legislators, most of those have been to the Boys or Girls State, because it taught them those skills that they need to succeed like that.
It was interesting getting to sit and interview those guys and gals. We actually had more girls than guys competing in that contest. So
cool.
Step up, men, and good job, young ladies. It was cool to see. I mentor a young guy from time to time, and I feel like most of the time I'm dealing with knuckleheads, and these three that competed, they were poised. They conducted themselves so good. Watching them shake hands with the mayor and get up there and give their speech, like they represented really good. And I was just thinking, like, I don't remember anything like this growing up, and I'm sure it may have been out there, but it's just like, it's once again just kind of an example of
And that's what we're working for. This was our first year doing it, so with the leadership that we currently have at the Legion, and all of us are brand new to these positions, with the exception of a few, like 2 or 3. So none of us really knew what we were doing going into it. So the fact that we had anybody apply was great to us. So next year we look to have a great show.
Westmore, Southmore, you guys need to step up. And shout out to the I think they were telling me it was like a debate teacher that was kind of the so
and
cool.
I don't remember her name, but
their
thank you.
Their ability to be able to speak and present themselves goes back to that teacher.
Yeah.
So definite shout out to that teacher. We also at the Legion, we don't just accept veterans, but we also have the auxiliary and as well as the sons there also, that I like to kind of touch on a little bit, because the auxiliary is although women's side of things, the mothers, daughters, granddaughters, any of that, if you've had a person in your family and you're female, you are authorized to join the auxiliary, and the auxiliary basically supports the Legion itself. They typically are the ones that are responsible for sending the kids to Girl State, and they help with fundraising a lot. And then the Sons is the male side of that, to where it's if you're a male and your father, grandfather, or if you have a child that's in it, we have that as well. And we have both of those charters at our post that are up and growing. Our auxiliary is a little bit more established than our Sons is, but we're looking to definitely grow both of those as well at the post. And it's a great way to give back. If you need community hours, if you have a church group, a school group, or anything like that wants or needs to help, as part of your program, we're always looking for volunteers for any of that sort of thing as well.
Is the Sons program, is that kind of I'm still pretty naive as to
It's fine.
what all goes on over there. But I know the what's the right word to use here? I don't want to say flag burning, but that is what we do.
Flag
like
retirement.
it's retirement.
Flag burning. We
like
burn the flag.
is that like a scouts troop, or is that the Sons program,
we use
or how's
the
that?
scouts a lot with the Legion. We don't have enough sons to take that over for us right now, but I mean, it could potentially be a sons thing. But we use it to mentor the kids so that way they learn proper flag etiquette. That is one of the major things that the Legion believes in, is teaching about flag etiquette. And so the proper retirement and showing honors to the flag is big. So we do that once a month at our post, because we collect from all over the city. There's a Lowe's drop box. I think it's Lowe's. It's either Lowe's or Home Depot that you can.
I know Lowe's.
You can drop your
Yeah, Lowe's
retirement
has one.
flags, or your flags that need to be retired there, or our post itself has a nice box that's out front that you can drop any flags that need proper respects out there. And we welcome the public to it. You check our Facebook page. You'll see those posts there that tell you when our dates are. We did take a couple months off over the winter because not many people want to show up when it's really, really cold outside. Hovering over the flag barrel when the flags are being retired is not a way to keep warm. The smell of that will get to you, because a lot of those flags are plastic. So those fumes from that are no joke. But we'll be starting those back up probably in March, depending on Oklahoma weather. And they're usually the last Saturday of the month.
Okay. Is anybody welcome to attend those? Or is it
Everybody's
just...
welcome. We
All
want
right.
everybody there. We are currently utilizing a Boy Scout troop that's in Moore
Okay.
to come out and help us. They help us with the scripted speech that's out there. One of the gentlemen that's over there doesn't really like to speak in public, so we enlist one of the boys to do his part in it and the script, and then they also help us with the folding and the putting it in the barrel. And then towards the end, because we usually have a abundance of flags, we usually encourage people that just showed up to attend to be able to retire a couple flags themselves. We've had a bunch of dads showing their sons how to do it,
That's
and
cool.
that sort of thing, and it gives me goosebumps. I love
Well,
it.
something that's not taught generally in general education or general things.
Yeah.
The majority, and if you don't have some in your family, that knows it,
our next stop, the Kiwanis Club, that was the first exposure that I had to. I think it might be flagpoles honoring our vets, maybe. That they had mentioned some program that goes into schools that they'll, it's a patriotism elective basically, and they get to raise and lower the flag.
They might have done that.
Yeah, I don't know
once or
who it
twice,
is, but
I
was like,
I
man,
would
that's so
love to know
freaking
more
good.
about
Like,
that.
if there's
That'd be a cool
like
program.
a good.
If it's not, it should be. We should probably
maturity,
figure that out.
raise up the patriotism level a little bit in the young generation. I think that's freaking fantastic.
Reach out to the Moore superintendent.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. You were talking about different resources and all that sort of thing. So there are a bunch of nonprofits, and we've talked a lot about the American Legion, but I'm not even going to, as much as I personally love the Legion, it's not the only resource that does what we do that's out there, because there is the VFW. The difference between the two is the American Legion, you just have needed to serve 24 hours to be eligible for the Legion, to where like the VFW, you have to have actually served, I believe it's overseas,
or
you have certain parameters that you have to fit in to join the VFW. But there's that, you have the DAV, this Disabled American Veterans, that if you're disabled at all, you can join it. There's the PAV, the Paralyzed Veterans of America, PVA, not PAV. There's, if you've got a part, but any specialty anything that you've acquired while you were in the service, whether it's disabilities or awards or anything like that, there's typically an organization that makes you the center of what they do. So you're the reason that they belong or that they are there. There's the Marine Corps League. I'm a auxiliary member. I don't think it's not auxiliary, but I'm not eligible for it because I'm not a Marine, but my husband's a Marine. But you don't even have to have that. Just if you relate more to the Marine mindset, you know, the Marine Corps League might be
There's
something.
a place for you.
Yep. My husband's the incoming commandant for the Norman post.
I did not know that. They're great. They're a great crew. I love them.
They're something.
They're
you
fun.
have to have the Marine, understand the
They're
Marine mind
hilarious.
to be able to tolerate that. But I do love them. But that's some of the notes that I took down. Is I wanted to make sure that we mentioned that
Yes.
you know that there are those different organizations, and just because one doesn't fit, just like me, I like the
Right.
Legion because of the history behind it, how much legislation we are responsible for. That was what touched me, but it might not be what you're looking for. So make sure that you do look for whatever makes you feel like you're home.
Is
Right.
there like a centralized resource guide where people can look for stuff? or is that
Unfortunately, not. There is.
Noted.
Okay.
There's an organization out of Tulsa that developed a Oklahoma Veterans Calendar, so you can find events on it. I don't think a lot of people are aware of it or utilize it yet, but they need to be, because it's OklahomaVeteransCalendar.org. Maybe?
Oh, yeah.
And it's by Eagle Ops out of Tulsa. And so we're going to start utilizing that with our Legion. But if you put your events in there, you know, there are some people that are just looking to get out of the house.
Oh, yeah, some people don't want to make phone calls and ask, so
Absolutely. So
Yeah,
this will
my-
give them the information they need for
Yeah.
those events. And if you put it in there, you just,
just go.
might find that group that you're looking for.
Because I think that was my biggest getting out of the military, the transition period. There's not a lot of information. They say there's information, but they give you crappy information getting out of the military.
Yeah, and it's not
It's-
typically there's typically a lot more red tape than what you realize.
Yes.
When I ran for Miss Veteran, our beneficiary for all the funds that we raised helped female homeless veterans.
Okay.
And so it was, very niche,
Yeah.
but it made me realize, for one, we have like less than 10% in Oklahoma for female veterans. So that means there's like maybe 5 homeless female veterans in the state. And that was like 3 years ago. So that might be a little bit off. But the first thing I did was I was like, what would I do if I came across a female homeless veteran? What would I do with them? So I went to the ground floor at the VA in Oklahoma City and asked them, what happens when they come in? Well, you have to have a DD 214 and an ID.
heck,
Well,
like
how
it.
many homeless people have that? Most,
Exactly.
Most veterans
right
know
here.
to hold on
Exactly.
to that like it's gold. But what happens if you don't? They can't help you.
Yeah.
You have to file for that, and then once you get it in, then we'll help you.
And if you
And
see
it's
it turn
not
away,
like
they not
immediate
come back.
placement either.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like, if you're currently homeless, sleeping on the couch, and there's a snowstorm coming in tonight, you decide you want to go
Yeah.
get help today, you're not going to get placed that night.
And like I said before, it takes a lot for
Yeah.
veterans to actually say they need help. So if they walk in there saying, "Okay, I don't want to freeze tonight,
Absolutely. You
And-
need to be able to help them.
but you need a piece of paper,"
Yeah.
okay, let me go get my printer that's out on the street.
Yep,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's like no. So yeah, it's,
So it was really eye-opening. So like if you were in the business of helping veterans, I encourage you to like look at the people that you're helping and try to go through the process that you're encouraging them to go
yeah,
through.
start at the bottom. work your way
Right,
through it.
and
Okay.
see what obstacles that they're going to hit, so you can try to figure out a way to make help more accessible. Even the 988. If you haven't done it, you can call and tell them that you're a provider and you're wanting to know, the process, and have them walk you through it. Or that is a great first place to start if you're looking into suicide, prevention. If you have somebody that you believe is suicidal, you can call them and they'll walk you through the steps to find out if that person's in immediate,
Yeah.
need of help, or if they can, wait till Monday till they can get an appointment to be
Yeah.
seen. That's that type of
No,
thing.
yeah, that's,
And I think one thing that you mentioned too is like, if you are a veteran in need of whatever type of resource, support, just community period, I think like, this one might not be the right one. Keep swinging.
Absolutely.
Like there, I don't think that there's a lack of resources,
No.
but I think there's a lack of awareness, and I don't know where the responsibility lies on, the people trying to find it or the people trying to put it out there. But keep looking. There's this guy. We've all been talking about this for a couple weeks now. There's a young sailor out at Tinker that unfortunately took his life just before the holidays, and it's like, man, there's some not great stories going around about help that he tried to find, and I can't quite put myself in that mindset. I know what it's like to feel alone on active duty. I know what it's like to feel alone outside of active duty, and looking for that community, or that community come finding you. And it's like, man, please keep looking.
There's so many different facets to how it failed, you can blame the healthcare system, but it also goes so much further than that. It's sad.
So my opinion is not that of the American Legion. So I do want that disclaimer out there. But I've done a lot of reading about it, and apparently this young person reached out to his medical facility, and they informed him that he needed to make an appointment. I was not on that phone, so I do not know what was said back and forth. But if you were to reach out to your regular doctor, they're going to tell you the same thing. Yes, they should be a little bit more understanding with it being veterans, because we're more susceptible to suicide. But your general doctor would have told you the same thing.
Yeah.
He should have went to the VA. I have personally taken people to the VA before for suicidal help, and they have done what needed to be done there. This facility that they're referring to, I like I said, I don't know, because I wasn't on the phone with him. I don't know the details behind that, but I feel like the unit that he's in needs to be looked at a little bit more heavily.
Yes.
For them to have 4 of the, is it 8 or 9 of the year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
4
A
of
couple.
almost
More than a
half
couple.
of them in this one place.
Unit,
That needs
Yeah.
to be looked at.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that the leadership there's to blame for it, but they should be.
There's a culture.
They need to be
there's
more
a-
trained or something to look for it at least.
Yeah.
If nothing else.
I mean, and that's typically the response with anything. Like having come out of the Navy from an air, I actually was stationed out there at the comm center that supported the squadrons that this kid was at. Obviously not while he was on active duty or myself, but I don't know where I was going with that. It comes and it goes. It's gone.
I was stationed at Tinker for almost 10 years, and our unit had one of the highest, not suicide rates, but it was the highest mental health problems in our unit, in the whole DOD at one point.
That's it. Aircraft community. Once is an anomaly, twice is a pattern.
Yeah.
And it's like that, the what do they call that? The continual improvement process. It's like if this was a mechanics issue, they'd be all over it, and the same type of. And I'm sure that I'm probably not speaking all that authoritatively, but I'm saying this because I care, and if I could help,
me too.
Tell me where.
And we had this program when I was on active duty. Me and about 4 other NCOs started a program where we called ourselves the Airman Support Team, because Air Force, but I knew from experience with myself that the word maybe proud isn't the right word, but I would never reach out for help when I needed the help that I needed. And I needed help. I needed to go talk to a mental health provider because I was in a really bad spot. And it took one of my friends grabbing my hand and saying, "Walk with me.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk to you for a little bit." And I thought, okay, I don't know what we're talking about. And we took, our squadron is just one giant circle if you walk the hallway. And we walked the thing probably 20 times, just going. And then he just walked me out the door and just we're walking this way. He's like, "Get in the car, we're going somewhere." He dropped me off at the mental health desk and said, "You got to talk to this guy right now." And they did. They sat me down for an hour and said, "We're admitting you to not a facility, but you're going to come back tomorrow and you're going to sit and talk to someone. You're going to come back the next day." And then they looked at my friend and said, "If he doesn't come here, we're calling your number."
Yeah.
And it was great, but it all takes people. So in response to that, so we started this program where we realized so many of our troops weren't comfortable going to our first sergeant or our commander or an officer or someone higher ranking, because there's a stigma out there that they think they're going to get punished or they're going to lose the ability to gain rank, which is a thing. Like,
Yeah.
when you line up against people, like when you're looking at things, if someone says, "Oh, this guy's unstable," even though right or wrong, it's like, okay, but this guy has done all the same thing, but he's not unstable. Okay, he'd be a better leader, and that's the problem. And then, so these people don't want to say anything. That's what's really hard.
So I'm going to interject a little bit with a different viewpoint on this. Being a female veteran in there, do you know that 1 in 3 women are sexually assaulted while they're in service?
Right.
I do know that.
So those of us that speak up against that are typically sent to a different command, while the person that did this, and I'm not going to say like attack, because it's not always just a full-blown like rape. It can be just just anything.
Yeah.
I roll my eyes at that because it
No,
affects you
it's
for the
not.
rest of your
It
life,
does.
no matter what it just is. But most of the time, those people that are the bad person in that, they're the ones that, and they're promoted because they need to be taken out of that situation.
Yeah.
So instead of actually reprimanding them or writing them up or making them be the ones to transfer, you're the troublemaker. You're moved out and put somewhere else, and then they're promoted.
And they do it all under those guys of taking care of the person, making sure they're safe.
But
But it's not.
sadly, that doesn't just stop when you're out of the military. These veteran service organizations are guilty of it as well.
Yeah.
I was attacked verbally online, and I was told to let it go, and they didn't need to approach it again, to bring it back up, to stir it up. And I'm like, okay, and this person's a leader.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like, that's not.
I mean, how it just continues to happen.
Yeah,
Now,
it does.
what needs to happen, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what
You
I
know,
don't have
but
the answers, but it's wrong.
they need to stop feeling, or stop with that mentality that that's okay.
So if someone has an answer, speak up.
Yeah.
That's what-
Yeah, one of my catchphrases for this year, so in the last week, is try something different.
Yeah.
That's
what I might.
the way things have been done maybe need
Yeah,
to be
I always
done
that's
a
my
different
whole,
way.
That was my model the whole time I was in the military. Well, multiple things. I always asked why, which was never really a good thing, but I didn't care, and I told them I don't care if you can't explain why I'm doing this. And then if your answer is I don't know, because my supervisor told me, I was like, then figure out why, because I'll be a lot more excited to do my job if I know why I'm doing this.
Big time.
Now, if it's a secret and you can't tell me, that's fine, but don't just do it just because we're doing this.
Right.
And
is that a Simon Sinek thing of lead with why or start with why? I think is a thing.
Yeah, he's got a book.
Yeah,
I think it's him anyway.
That's a like I'm not going to get the quote down verbatim, but it's like people will give their life for a why.
Oh, 100%.
Like, that's one of the most deepest questions you can ask and answer. Like
one of my
why
best supervisors, leaders that I ever had, he would start out our shifts. We did airplane maintenance, so middle of the night work. It always was cold, snowy, sucked. It's like, why are we going out here to scrub a computer screen when the water's freezing onto the screen right now? It makes no sense. Like, and we'd ask why, and some of them would just get mad and just do it because I'm telling you to. You don't talk to me that way. He would always stand up and motivate us in the morning and in the middle of the night and say, hey guys, we're going to do this because that airplane tonight is going to be launching in 3 hours, and it's going to be going to do this counter drug mission, or this is going to be escorting the president's jet on across the country today. So you guys need to do your job really good, make sure this place looks good. And he fired us up. We're like, I'm going.
Now let's go.
And I'm going to squirt that screen. Let's go. But it just the different leadership. It doesn't take that much. So I learned from that. So when I became a leader, that's how I led. And everybody, I got the crap from my leadership. You don't need to explain to people why they're doing it. No, I don't. But you know what? Not one of my guys I ever had to get in trouble. Because
I've heard that with with parenting, especially, be the parent you needed when you were younger.
Yes.
It's the same thing with the leadership. If you don't like how somebody did something, be that person that you needed back then for that. I was going to tell you, we do have a street sheet that has some resources on it at our post.
Okay.
So if you'd email adjutant at ok184.org and tell her you need the street sheet, she'll email you that street sheet. She might also ask you about membership, but she's going to send you the street sheet that we've compiled so far. I don't know where we got it from.
Maybe we can get a digital version
we
of
can
that
start
we
doing-
can throw on the.
we can start doing it on a podcast link or a link to a Dropbox or something.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We can start putting together.
So-
My to-do list is growing.
I
as
know.
we speak.
There's
This will
that.
become a full-time job.
And then on the mental health stuff, if you start noticing like why people are having these mental health crises. This person, they assume it had to do with work, but a lot of the resources that we have are to prevent you from getting that far, the preventative side of stuff.
Right.
As far as like I touched a little bit on being a VSO, a veteran service officer. If you take finances off the table for some of these veterans and get them the disability that they're entitled to, that might take off some of the financial burden that they have. If they're unable to work and they're staying at home and they're just on Social Security, whatever, and they don't have any money and they're struggling to get by, and you realize that they're exposed to Agent Orange, so you get them their 100% that they're entitled to, you're going to change that person's life, and you're more than likely going to lengthen it, because they're not going to have to worry about where their mortgage comes from every month or buying groceries or whatever. And that's one of the things that I liked as well about service dogs. Is it similar but different? Service dogs give some veterans a reason to get up in the morning. We have a veteran friend that had informed my husband one time that that if he, and I hope it's okay that I tell his story, but he told my husband at one time that if he ever called him and told him he needed him to come over, do not look in the bathroom, just take his dogs and leave. Because his dogs meant everything to him. And, he didn't want him going to the bathroom because he didn't want him to have that image in his head. Well, my husband, that kind of thing, that kind of relationship that guy has with those dogs is the reason that guy survived this dark time in his life. And so service dogs sometimes provide that. Now, a lot of times you just need a dog at home to make you get up in the morning, to make you go outside, to take it for a walk, or to let it in the backyard. That gives you that vitamin D, but that also gets you moving. So a lot of times that's all you need. Some of us need a little bit more, as far as service dogs are concerned, taking them out. We need them by our side. We need them to go places with them. When I started with my service dog, Ruger, I didn't ever want to go anywhere because I didn't feel safe going places by myself. I'm, female, going out after dark, it's a thing. And so taking him out, like the first thing I did was I signed up for a week-long suicide prevention training down in, it's not Georgia, somewhere out southeast of here, I did week-long. But I felt safe and secure the whole time because he was with me.
Yeah.
Is he going to protect me? Absolutely not. If you met him, he would not protect me. But just knowing that I had him, and the general public wouldn't have known that, and so he opened up all kinds of doors for me for that. And it got me back to exercising because he alerted to my heart rate. So I started going back to the Orange Theory here and more, and got on the treadmills, and he would alert me anytime my heart rate got to dangerous levels, and it just opens up so much. So if you're having these mental health problems and it's because of some of this kind of environmental stuff, let's look at that and see what we can do to help with that. Our American Legion here currently has 4 VSOs that are here by appointment. VSO at OK184.org.
Just got a new one too, right?
Yes, Mark Holland. We're super excited about him. He's new. Oh, he's new to us. He's not new to being a VSO. We got him from another organization that had to unfortunately close its doors because they lost their leader. But yeah, it's super exciting. But so we have 4, so you just have to make an appointment or come in on Thursdays from 10 to 2, and we do walk-ins.
Now, if I can press just a little bit.
Absolutely.
Now, you just lost Ruger, right?
I did.
So how are you doing dealing with that?
There's good and bad days. I probably don't share enough about that. I struggled a little bit last night. But we had multiple dogs in our household already. We had 4, and one is my husband's working dog. One's my son's dog, and then I had 2. I had a pet, and then I had Ruger. And so my pet is now attempting to become a service dog. And if you've ever been around a golden retriever, she is not Ruger. Ruger was German Shepherd, even though he looked golden.
I didn't know that. He looked very golden.
And a golden retriever, they're space cadets. They're easily trainable, but they just don't seem to have a lot of common sense. And so like her, she's great. She's on her leash. She's doing great. She doesn't really settle, as what I call it. Like, so when I sit down, she doesn't always want to lay down. She's really aware of everything that's around. She hasn't learned to like tune it out like he did. And it's probably my problem. I've probably just got to stop comparing the two. But
I'm sure that's hard.
she's coming. Because he was just. I mean, every time I take him somewhere, I'm like, oh, he hasn't been exposed to this before. I need to watch that, and he wouldn't even react to it at all.
Do you feel like it's a little bit of a almost role reversal of what Ruger did for you with trying to get the new one up to Ruger standards? Or?
Probably, I'm more her.
Yeah.
Not therapy, more of her service dog than she is for me. Right now, probably so, but
Yeah.
a lot of it is even with training them, a lot of it is, it gets my mind out of like what I'm dealing with, because I've got to focus on her.
Yeah.
So, when I go into a strange environment, I can't afford to be nervous in this environment because I've got to worry about where she's at and what she's doing. And so a lot of times that's more of what it is, for me with her currently. It makes me focus on something. So if I'm having a panic attack or if I'm anxious for something, if I focus on her, then it doesn't allow me to get that way.
Yeah.
So and do not compare or make sure that you do realize that service dog, therapy dog, emotional support, totally different
animals.
things. And she currently may be more of emotional support, but she will not be for long, or I will not be having her out in public. So yeah.
Like that attitude.
So
we're gonna get her there.
So
we'll get her there one way or another. Or not all dogs are able to do that, but more of it's environmental than the other side of it. If they can't handle loud noises and they can't handle being in a group of people that they have to walk through and not smell everybody, they if they can't handle that kind of stuff, then they may just not work out. We have more wash from service dogs than you have make it through.
So if you're a vet or someone that's looking to get one, do you know organizations or do you know people? Or?
I don't know of any that I would recommend. I don't personally like the idea of somebody handing you a fully trained dog. Because to me, if
like
you're
more
not
being part of the process of
yes, because if you're not
it.
part of the process, you're not going to learn how to keep that dog where they're at. So they continually need training. They need reinforcements that what they're doing is right. They're not a robot. So you have to keep going with what they're trying to do, what you're trying to do with them. And so if you just have one completely handed to you, you can undo what they've done in 2 weeks.
Okay. Yeah.
Less than 2 weeks.
It's not as simple as Cesar Milan.
No, it's not. And so I like the idea that you're part of the process with it. You do not have to get a puppy. I'm too old for that stuff. I do not ever want a puppy again. So minimum, I'll get one about 10 months old, because then they can sleep through the night. Does not mean that they're not chewing. It depends on the breed, but at least they're sleeping through the night. We're a huge component, we like crate training. You never know when you're going to need that crate. Tornadoes, if you get in a car accident, whatever, you need that dog to not stress out in a crate. So we love to train the dogs to go in a crate. Does not mean that they have to be in it even when you leave the house, but if they're puppy at all, they need to be. Our service dog organization that we've started because of Ruger. We couldn't find somebody that was willing to train him because he was 3 years old. Everybody wants to give you a puppy and have you start from scratch, but that's not always the case. That doesn't need to be. You need a strong bond with the dog, and then they'll pretty much do anything you ask of them, but you have to be able to ask correctly. So we help you. If you have a dog in the home, we'll help you. You just bring it out and we'll help start training it for you. We'll identify the tasks that you need. We do start to finish, but it is you. You come out once a week, you train with us, we send you home with homework. The next week you come back, show us what you've done with the dog, and we go from there. Whether it's reinforcing whatever homework we gave you or whether it's with something new. But, we do that all the way start to finish.
What's the name of the organization?
That's Your Six Service Dogs for Veterans.
Is that do you guys meet over there?
We're not going to discuss where we meet.
Okay,
because,
never mind.
You need to
An undescript government building.
No, it's not that. We just don't want everybody and their brother showing up with the
all their
dogs
dogs.
all at the same
Yeah.
time. We start a new beginner class about every 12 to 15 weeks. And so at the beginning of it, we have 10 spots because of the space
Yeah.
that we're in. We need to be able to handle that many that have not been around other dogs and out in public. So we limit it to about 10 dogs. And if you're one of those 10, we'll disclose the location. And if you've ever been, you know the location.
Yep.
So, and if you just want to come out and observe, we'll give you the location. But we just don't want you showing up with a dog and expecting us to train this dog, and you show up in the
No.
middle of our 12 weeks
That's
and
smart,
you're a
because
beginner dog and
That's exactly what happened.
all that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because I was putting it on our flyer, and we had to stop that because we had people showing up all the time. And then I got in trouble with a trainer who is my husband because he thought I told them it was okay to come out, and I'd never talked to this person, but they saw a flyer, so they just showed up. But yeah, it's
Put the information out there.
it's great. It's a lot of fun. It's a smaller organization, but we kind of like it that way because then it's a lot of more one-on-one
It's
training.
more intimate.
And my husband's got over 20 years of canine training with like the highway patrol, sheriff's department.
Okay.
He's got
Matt, right?
Yeah,
You just become cooler and cooler every time I hear
know.
someone talk about you, Matt.
We need to have Matt come and talk to us too.
he's got his own podcast. If I can
Okay,
do a plug for that
Oh.
one
we
too.
could maybe do a
He's got,
joint little.
he's got 3
Little crossovers.
yeah, he's got it's 3 Marines that they all serve together, and they talk religion way more in depth than what I can
Even-
get involved in. Their brains just work totally different than mine, but it's Mount Hermeneutics.
No, hermeneutics. That's
Yep.
one of them $5 theology words. I
Well,
love
I had
He
him
must
spell
have.
it
He
for
must
me.
have gone got school.
it. Yeah.
He's actually going to I think he's applying to go to OBU and using some of his VA benefits that he's entitled to. 'Cause
Nice.
So before I enlisted, I was actually going to a missions school
Okay.
and couldn't afford the tuition, which was like ridiculously inexpensive. I was just stupid, didn't know finance
he's
as
looking
well.
to go to OBU, I believe. So he's hoping to start
Speak
that. But
some
I
of the
had
language.
to have him spell it for me. So if you want me to, I'll spell it for you. It's,
Hermeneutics.
yes, because it's
Yeah.
it's HERMENEUTICS. And
Now
I'll-
do epistemology.
No.
You spelling bee now.
No, I had to have him spell it for me because I can't spell it.
That's a
So-
big.
I love it.
Yep. And then the only other notes that I have is making sure that we touch on supporting other veteran businesses.
Yes.
So the
Please.
3 of us,
Yes.
all mine are nonprofit. Even our service dog, so our service dog organization, we do not collect money. We do not raise money because nothing costs anything. So I did skip over that part. Nothing costs anything to do that. Even if you decide you need a dog that you don't have a dog at your house, or the one you have isn't going to work for service dog training, we can get one from the local animal shelter at no cost. But American Legion, we do have to raise money. We're looking to purchase a new building this year. So
Nice.
that is we're going to be huge into fundraising this year. But you guys actually own
That's needed.
businesses.
That's neat.
And then on your list, we have Gold Star Coffee, Boxcar Woody Barrel. Oh yeah, the mugs. Love the mugs.
Yes, thank
do I
you to
get one?
Boxcar Woody for
I can give you a mug. Yeah.
hooking us up with our
Take
sweet
a look.
centerpiece here.
And then
Speaking of, let me pause real quick. So I got a New Year gift for. I've got one for each of the Oklahoma Smoke ownership teams. So there you go.
Oh,
You go ahead.
boy.
That's a custom
We'll
wrap
do it.
job there.
It's beautiful.
custom
I
ahead.
wrap job.
Go ahead.
feel
wrap
like this
that.
is like what you get them all for wrapping Christmas gifts.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Gold Star Coffee.
Gold Star
That's right.
Coffee.
That's right.
Okay.
Hey.
Nothing but the best for our
Nothing but
friends
the
over
best.
at Oklahoma Smoke.
Y'all,
I
are
love
you
that.
aware that
I
there's
made
a
sure they were green too. So.
there's a coffee darling in
I am
town
aware of
around the
that.
corner?
also
Right.
a sailor. What?
Yes.
Right on the corner.
And if I'm not a coffee
Slide that back
drinker,
in there.
but so I can't speak to her
They have good
coffee. But the
pastries.
treats
Well, I can
that they
speak to
have
her
over
coffee,
there,
yeah.
They're really
oh
good.
my
So
goodness.
they actually just switched to the same roaster that we use for Gold Star Coffee. So shout out to Zero Tolerance, also veteran owned.
Veteran owned.
So
Yeah.
the
So I
great-
just
great
wanted to make
people
sure
there.
that we did talk about that a little
Yeah,
bit
no,
too.
Coffee
'cause
Darlings has some of the best pastries.
yes,
Oh, It's dangerous.
She had some.
Once
They
I
had some
discovered it,
cinnamon rolls
and
in
I
there
can
when
walk
she first
there.
started bringing the
That's what
stuff
bad.
in.
Well, and that is one of the things that we're looking at with a new building for the Legion, because we're right across the street
Yeah.
pretty much from you here, and I was like, okay, we got to stay central, localized right here. So just be looking for some fundraising this year,
Yeah, we'll be
because it gets really weird being part of an organization that's nationwide.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out how to get a
whatever.
new building and all
Whatever you
the
need,
ins
we're
and outs
here.
of that.
We'll drag out a smoker and start smoking meats. If we need to
That
help
sounds
fundraise.
amazing.
Grab
Yeah.
a stage and do
He has a
at least some
stage.
karaoke. I got a guitar
Okay.
somewhere.
I, can,
My
I,
husband plays guitar
There
too.
we go.
I sing
Hey.
karaoke, so there we go.
Pull
well,
a Brad Paisley and start a band.
Yeah.
And get our buddy Warren involved.
Yeah.
I hear he's a karaokeer. He's not here.
Yeah, I actually have
Hopefully he's
some.
listening.
I have some text messages from last night about that. He is.
Oh, he's texted me, asked me to go sing karaoke with him. So
That that sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
it's a karaoke fundraiser. You pay $5 to come in, and the money goes to the
I love it. I love it.
Oh, we
And,
have
have you
ideas.
guys heard of the Warriors for Freedom?
Yes, I
They're
have.
also they started a thrift shop to where
I did not know that.
they'll take in any of your unwanted items and they resell it to benefit veterans.
That's
They
cool.
do a lot of one-off type
a
of
veteran
events,
just between friends.
like origami. Some type of I went and did a pour painting thing where we made coasters and a tray of
Okay.
sorts, but they schedule those off and they're free of charge.
Where are they located at? Do you know? Somewhere.
Northwest Oklahoma City is where the thrift shop is. I'm thinking that their headquarters is maybe there, but that's Dwayne and Joe.
All right.
And so
We'll look 'em up.
you'll have to link that on the website as well
We
and
will.
see about having them on your show.
Yeah, for sure.
I've got resources for days.
So I just
So
checked.
her phone
we don't.
number,
We don't.
no.
Yeah, right. Like I just checked.
No, reach me at the
Yeah.
Legion.
There-
Don't
there
don't call
currently
me.
is
Reach
not
me at the Legion.
a website, but
There
I
will
will
be.
be purchasing one more in thebarrel.com after recording's done.
Thank you.
It is available. Can I get a thank you? Shout out to the amazing service at Oklahoma Smoke.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you.
Us here drinking coffee, doing a podcast inside of a wedding chapel, inside of a barbecue restaurant. It's interesting.
Beautiful.
It is.
It sounds like the beginning of a joke.
It's the mind of a vet.
I don't know if it's a joke,
Scattered.
but it is funny.
We could find a
I know
joke.
this one keeps tickling my head.
I know,
probably
we were
look
talking
like
about-
I
we might have to come
antlers
in-
or something.
we might have to come in with
I'm making
scissors
some
and clip
notes.
'em.
I'm making some notes on.
Yeah, we're gonna make it a little better.
But
We have this one where we want to raise this up and have like bourbon in the barrel.
yes. It
But
looks so amazing.
It does look
I want
amazing.
smoke to come out too when we press the button.
Oh my goodness.
We have
We're
a lot of
heading-
ideas.
we're-
Smoking barrels. I don't know. We're still maybe we're still workshopping some
We are.
catchphrases here. So,
Yeah.
but Carrie, I just want to say thank you for joining us today. Like, thank you for the time. Thank you for the next amount of time. We actually got to get going to our next thing
Yes.
here.
Is it already? Oh my
Enjoy that
gosh.
time.
And thank you for everybody who's in the restaurant. Thank you for the folks who are going to watch this online. And just to kind of close us off, stories don't end when the camera stops. So thanks for sharing this
Yeah.
one with us. We'll catch you next time because there's always one more in the barrel.
Ciao.
That's a wrap.